Kia ora koutou, and welcome to the first DCR AidStation of 2026. I'm Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
And our old mate Andrew, he's having a little bit of an extended holiday, so it's just us two tonight. So why don't we crack on? First off, Happy New Year, buddy. It's nice to see you.
Oh, thanks. Happy New Year to you too, and to all of the listeners.
Indeed. I was hoping, I think everyone in the whole world was hoping for a calmer, sedate, more linear start to 2026. It doesn't seem like sort of that's happening, but it seems like
we can try and bring it.
Yeah, we can try and has that happened? Has that been your experience? The first, what is it, like the 12th of January while we record? Has that been your experience? How's the house move been?
So can you hear a child crying?
I can see a little guy. I can hear a little guy in the bath. Yeah.
It's been hectic, but hopefully things will. Who am I kidding? It's not even going to settle down. We're off to the goat this weekend, and then it's full steam to Tarawera and all the other events like Ring of Fire and UTA training camp, and we just had the Tarawera one. So yeah, lots of running on the horizon. Yeah, how about
awesome.
you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I want to touch base. How was your Tarawera training camp?
Cool, yeah, lots of happy people, and it's exciting to see people that they've got through the big bulk of the training and they're feeling ready to go. Just that kind of the last bit of the mental kind of putting the little shine on the mental side of things and having a taper and getting those last bits organised. But everyone had a great time, I think, and it was hot, but they did well in the heat, and there was a lake swimming, there were trails run on, and lots of good company, and it's really neat.
That's awesome. And how did you go? How's the body holding up? Knee, playing ball, everything as it should be?
I did my latest run walk back the other day in the forest. It was beautiful, but things has continued to be a bit average. But been working with a physio, and hopefully let's call it like some better running in 2026. We'll see. Yeah. How about you? You're getting back into it?
Yeah, no, things are going, like, touch wood, since we got back from Spectacle, just been on it's felt like finally just been on a little bit of a tear. And whilst, whilst you have to kind of suggest that after a year of reasonably minimal running, you're not going to be where you were, it's really lovely having the space to do it. It's really lovely having the physical ability to do it. I feel heaps better. I've been doing it most days. I've been hiking every day with the dogs, which has been really cool. So it's been nice to just do something every day and at times do a couple of things every day. And same thing, like you made that point with people are stoked. I went out for a run yesterday and it was very hot when I went out. 10K out and back. First half, not so fast. Second half, ramping things up as you're coming along. And I passed these two runners with about 6K to go from home. And it was a guy, Rowan, and his wife, Caitlin, and he's doing the 100 mile for the first time. And we sort of went back and forth, and caught up with him at the end. But it's so stoked it's so rad to see people like stoked.
Yeah.
Like actually stoked and a bit nervous, but thinking, have I done enough? And it was cool to run with other people, and it was cool to actually feel like, the old donkey got a little bit excited. I got a little bit excited. Yeah. And it was nice, So yeah, here's to more of that. And it's nice to finally feel that sort of going in a direction that's not backwards. So yeah.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Absolutely.
And, speaking of that excitement, it was pretty funny because at the end of the Tarawera training weekend, we were all sitting there and Jenny Waite got out her phone and she entered the miler in front of everyone, and she was like, wow. I've done it. And we were all like, because she was so, like, do I? I've been training. And then she pressed go. So it's, yeah, when people do that, you know that feeling and that kind of thing, and it was really neat to see. So, Yeah.
Now we don't so much have a question, but there's been, whilst we've been on holiday, there's been a few things that have come up and
Yeah.
sort of piqued our interest. So running through the list, you want to talk us through the carbon list, which is the mobility policy for UTMB?
Yeah. So I had some messages from people in Australia and New Zealand saying, like, what's the go with this? This is, and I was kind of like, I don't know. What is the
Do they
go?
think that you work for UTMB?
Yeah, they think that I am UTMB. I'm not UTMB. So, yeah, basically, they've decided to create they got a lot of grief, right, for the DCR sponsorship
Yes.
and the carbon footprint of the event, I guess, which Jasmine Paris had spoken about in our podcast with her, I believe. And they have obviously come up with a policy to try and reduce carbon emissions. So from 2026, they're going to reward low carbon travel. And if you enter the lottery for UTMB, CCC, OCC, ETC, and you promise to come without using a private car and follow their rules, then I believe that you get a 30% boost in your lottery odds. But on top of that, every runner pays a carbon contribution based on where they're travelling from to help fund climate transition projects. So that means that people coming from Australia and New Zealand are paying an extra, I think people are saying $400 on top of their entries. So it's not nothing. And it's kind of tricky when
not nothing.
When it's compulsory, right? You can't go, like I'm gonna roam a sailboat there. I mean, you could, but roam a sailboat. You don't row a sailboat, Ellie. What are you on about? Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of that was it. Kind of slid in there as a bit of a surprise. Like I didn't see it in their announcement. It was kind of so it's something for us to kind of be aware of, I guess, coming from our region.
I know that Damien Hall, he's been on the show a bunch and he co-founded the Green Runners with Jasmine Paris, and he talked about the fact that traveling from Europe, he felt, he's very, very ecologically minded, involved with climate action and stuff like that. And he was talking about how he felt somewhat of not a climate hypocrite, but we always saw that thing, like if he ever came to, he asked Eugene, would we come and do like a Bob Graham and a Paddy Buckley? And we said,
oh, cool.
Yes, but only if we could kayak over, because we'd be saving on emissions. I don't know. People, is it a good thing that climate change is being acknowledged? Yes, absolutely. There's going to be people who are going to be outraged about this. There's going to be people who think it's a very good idea, a good start. There'll be people thinking it's greenwashing, but certainly, I don't know, for the cost of living, cost of living is an issue for most people at the moment. And another 400 euros.
No, I think it's 400 Australian and around that New Zealand as well, probably 430, I guess. Like I think it's 190 euros.
Right.
For us. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
and is that and I guess the thing is, so on that money, how much of that money is being put into carbon sinks and stuff like that?
Who knows? I don't know.
The question that I would ask. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, listeners. If you're listening, get in the Substack or email us, dirtchurchradio@gmail.com, or on social media. Let us know what you think about this, about UTMB's new carbon mobility. I guess it is a tax, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
What else could a race do? I always thought, even thinking about Riverhead Rampage, for our 10 years, we never did medals. And the reason we didn't do medals is they bumped up the cost, and they took, and we were a sponsorship model because we were a not-for-profit. So any money we made went to the Riverhead School. And B, again, I thought about the carbon footprint of that, importing medals and what it cost, and certainly the offset of that is medals are nice. You get something at the end. You think that we always had a policy though that if you really wanted a medal, you could get one, but I would make it.
Yeah, cool.
So once this Chinese dude, he insisted on a medal. He got an embroidered chicken.
Cool.
And another guy got 2 CDs super glued together with like and I think a bit of doily on them.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. I can't remember if any other, I think people sort of, but these two guys, they really wanted the medal. So I was like, okay, I'll make you one. And yeah, but it's interesting, isn't it? What could you, or would you support a staggered entry so you could buy the thing at the end where you get the, for any race, the towel, the T-shirt, the medal? Or you could just say, I'm just going to run this, and you opt to not spend that money.
I know Ring of Fire and Tussock Traverse have done that in the past with choosing to plant a tree for Project Tongariro instead of a medal. And so they'd have like a green wristband or something like that. And I think maybe the goat as well. And so it's quite cool because you see people at the end going, oh no, I wanted to plant a tree. So, but equally too, I do love a good medal. So
yeah.
For me, it's like I kind of want to do both.
Has any medal taken on more significance for you than others?
Definitely. Like the ones that's really hard earned or that's got a special memory attached, then it's really nice to have that token to kind of look at and be like, oh yeah, that was it just triggers a memory, right? So that's what's actually special about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, my Kepler 5-year medal is my number one. And
cool.
That's because little incursion. That's all good. It's the realities. It's the realities of a podcasting parent. Yeah, my Kepler 5-year medal. That was the main one for me. Both because I was so sick when I ran the race. I had gastro. The starting gun went off. I took 1 foot over the line and went, oh, I shouldn't do this. And finished it. And it was cool, got my medal, and went to a job interview on the Tuesday with my medal in my pocket. I didn't have it around my neck. Thinking, I said to myself, if I can't do this, if I can't finish this race, then I'm going to withdraw from my job interview on the Monday, and or the Tuesday as it were. And my Kepler medal was I wouldn't plant a tree for that, but. There's plenty others I would. Have you seen the Salomon green screen ad?
I haven't. No, I had to Google it when you mentioned it. And I was like, what is this? So tell me more.
So it's this isn't having a bash at Salomon. It's Meow Yao, who's a Salomon runner, very, very skilled by all accounts. And the sort of the copy is keeping the focus on performance, not compromise, and that they put it on a green screen so that they wouldn't be compromised and they could just outline the performance of the shoe, which to me feels a little bit ass backwards because it's trail running, you're outside, you're always compromising with the terrain, you're compromising with the weather, and that's all kind of
it's meant to be rough and ready.
Yeah. I mean, and it looks super. It just seems, maybe it's a generational thing, Maybe I'm like that point now where I'm the guy that's the old man in the your Boy Scout Duracad with the Montrail shoes and the battered visor, But it seems like there's a generation that are being sort of more au fait with sort of AI, but it's a weird thing. And I saw in the comments too.
So it's actually AI.
It's not AI, but it's green screen. It's CGI. But that kind of the point I'm making is people who are more au fait with that kind of production, and I guess that's what we can reasonably expect from a lot of companies now. If you can save money going up a mountain by generating a mountain, maybe people will. But also a lot of the comments were like, "Why isn't this being tested outdoors?" Which I also thought was a bit like, you dorks. Of course it's tested outdoors.
Yeah.
It's not tested in a studio. It's tested outdoors. It's advertised in a studio. I don't know. I'm not here for it.
Maybe
really
that's
not.
kind of a commentary though on how our sport's changing, becoming more image driven or focused, rather than, it's about looking good rather than doing the job.
Well, I mean, I wrote down here in the outline, it's the Satisfyification of trail running media, and I think that brand has done a really impressive job of doing it. And when you see a massive company like Salomon move towards that, like if you notice the stuff that they did, they're getting more and more sort of surreal, and you've got this sort of their marketing is this kind of, we're running punks, we're running cult, we're running this, we're running that. It's very expensive gear. It's the moth that's got holes in it. It's a bit grungy. It's a bit, and their last thing with the horse, whatever that was, kind of Equus versus the Brokeback Mountain. I don't know what was going on, but they had the when they released their shoe, which is the Rocker, which I understand isn't a bad shoe at all. It was almost this hyper reality around it. There's something that's used to be like, you get a new pair of shoes and they're going to get ripped up pretty quickly because it's off road. This sort of transposing of this hyper reality and super flashness with built to be running in the mountains and through mud and stuff like that. So I think that's actually, yeah, you're right. We're sort of heading in that sort of super slick, hyper real direction. I don't know if it's a good thing.
Is it the fashion side of it rather than, because for me, I'd way rather see products that have been tried and true on athletes who've put them through it than to be kind of this pristine, glamorous thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and to be, I will put my hand up. I am as much of a slave to the outdoor fashion trends as the next person. And you can see what hat I'm wearing. I'm not wearing a Satisfy hat as the audio medium. I love that stuff. And, I love the Solomon I love the Salomon sort of, not Solomon, that he's a king in the Bible. The Salomon, that kind of gorp core. I like that stuff, wearing like essentially what are a pair of speed crosses to the library. Yeah, I'm down with that. I think it looks cool as hell. And I think too, it's that if you look at the shoe that Meow has wearing, it's one of those completely, it doesn't have laces. It looks like it's been sprayed onto her foot, the integrated gaiter thing.
It was sewed on for her.
yeah, exactly. And then we'll be burnt off at the end. Maybe it is. Maybe it's that sort of that futurism that we're seeing. But it just struck me as 2026. it's off with a hiss and a roar, and we're making running ads inside now.
It's not even lockdown anymore.
No, exactly. This is a bunch of dudes running around their house. No, it's not. It's really, really not. So again, let us know what you think. Check out the ad. I mean, this isn't a bash at a brand or anything, but man, it's interesting to see where the prevailing wisdom with the advertising dollar is going.
I mean, if we've talked about it, so it's obviously made an impact. So it's it's
a little Dirt Church Radio. It's hot though, and I mean, it's figuratively hot with the ad, but it's literally hot. It's how your athletes managing the heat.
Golly, some of the people that I coach in Sydney who have been training towards Tarawera Maila, it's been 40 degrees, like trails have been closed. And so it's not easy for them. They're doing well and kind of managing effort wisely and doing what they can. But I do feel for them, and I'm just like, I'm always hoping we get a hot Tarawera because everyone will be like, yeah, we're ready for this. But who knows what we'll get. We never know what we're going to get.
It seems, I mean, I got out of the car yesterday and it was 3:00. It was 29 degrees.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's just in the car, and then it's going down into the valley and everything like that. It was like, man, this is super hot. Nice and dry though, which was nice. It wasn't
Yeah.
as that Auckland humidity, but oh man. As Coach Ellie's top tip for managing the heat, what's the one thing you can do?
I'd
I mean, there's more
probably
than one
say
thing,
pace.
obviously.
Yeah, pace yourself wisely. Like, make adjustments for the conditions because, yeah, I think often we don't. And obviously, do your best to keep cool as well. That's the second one. But that's like state the obvious.
Don't go out like a dickhead and blow up.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly. And I tell
take
you
it
who
from me.
didn't go out like a dickhead and blow up. We had 2 bays in Victoria this weekend, which is it's a long running and quite, like highly esteemed event. And one of our legends, Caitlin Fielder, went over there and she has a mammoth new course record for it. So she ran it in 4:17:21. And the previous course record was 4:33:58. And I hate saying overall, but she was, second across the line as well, which is, and I think she was something like, I don't even know, she was well ahead of second place by like, I'm going to say like 17 minutes or something. It was quite decent. So yeah, she's on form and looking forward to seeing, what happens in the next month and a bit.
Absolute. I mean, I'm going to put my this Ultra Runner of the Year thing. Obviously, it's really North American centric.
Yeah.
It's going to be Jim
How can they
Wormsley.
make
Yeah.
the Rosegrove second?
Yeah. I mean, can she? But I mean, for me,
know.
for complete, I'm just going to put my stake in the ground here for and if you're taking everything about the person, not just their running ability, and the talent, Caitlin Fielder, fine artist, boxer, fashion icon,
Comedy gold.
Comedy gold. That's right. She could make you laugh if you insulted her and then ran away from her. She could catch you and then beat the shit out of you when she got to you. And then she's one of the best that ever took the gig, and it's real cool to see her getting back after tearing a massive hole in her hamstring. Was it a quad or a hamstring? One of the big muscles in the leg.
I think it quad. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
My goodness me. Look, we're racing towards Tarawera next week. We're going to be doing our world famous Tarawera preview.
Yeah.
Me, you, Kerry Suda. You might have heard of that guy. That's going to be awesome. Are you excited? I mean, I'm excited for Tarawera. I'm excited to go down. I'm excited to work on the mic. I said to, Rowan and Caitlin, the obvious question, I was running with them and he's like, are you training for anything, man? That's the first question.
Yeah.
He's like, are you training for anything? And I was like, just life. What about you, man? And he's like, Tarawera Mile. And I was like, oh, that's going to be so cool. And, I said to him, I'll see you down there. It's going to be really, really, really rad. And it's amazing to see people so stoked for it. But what are you excited for 2026?
Honestly, I'm just hoping to get that like really good rhythm back with my running again. Like just to be able to go out for a run with mates and enjoy it and see beautiful things. That is what I want for 2026 is just, some happy movement in the outdoors. Bring it on.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I'm stoked and performance.
Yeah?
I know that, that the triumvirate of Dirt Church Radio, we've got the metrics guy, we've got the feelings guy, and we've got the experienced woman, but like I like a metric as next as much as the next person. And going back and having a look at my old having a look at Strava, I think or any training log that you keep, like mine's, it's all set to private and stuff, but mine goes back to like 2014. So it's really cool to.
Early adopter.
I was an early adopter. I was a Daily Mile boy. I was on Daily Mile. That's how sad I was, which is like a cross between Strava and MySpace, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah. Did you not hear about Daily Mile?
No, I don't. No.
You could really laboriously plot routes. It was like
beautiful.
It's like an Atari Strava. But
I used the was there like an Under Armour or I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I think I used that. I think I was on that for a while. Oh, Map My Run. Whoa.
Map My Run. Yeah, that was cool too. Yeah. So it's been really fun to look back and see, how I ran something on the weekend. I had a massive weekend, and I was doing some catering at a family get-together, which is cool. And I had like a half-hour window to get out after, doing everything, walking the dogs and blah, 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 blah. And I ran the segment the third fastest time I ever have, and the first fastest was in 2014. And going back and looking at my run then, it was really interesting to think, which was legitimately faster, but also like all that self-hating stuff you put on the internet, it really stays there forever. Like I did this run, and it was like I think it was hilly trail run, average pace of 5:49, which was super good on those conditions. And the 10K, 300 meters of vert, or whatever it was. And the title was "Run, You Fat Doughy Bastard, Run." And I just thought, like, what was I thinking? That was me writing it. That wasn't anyone else writing it. That was me choosing to write that. So that's a thing for me thinking about 2026. It's just like, actually, I'd like to maybe get to the point where I can push myself, but also, expect a lot from yourself, but without that kind of air of pernicious negativity, because that's actually ultimately quite self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
As
positive
a coach,
pushing.
How much? Eh?
Positive pushing. Let's see some positive pushing.
What do you reckon, and with your coach hat on, and thinking about those metrics, if you could assign a percentage of increased performance from positive visualization, and all like unicorns and rainbows and everything's great, but that just sort of authentic, short-term positive visualization or positive mindset, what would you reckon it would be?
Gosh, I think it probably depends on the run and the distance, because it can be huge, right? Like, I know historically that there's, on paper, I've worked with people that I'm like, they've got everything that it takes to do this. And then mentally, that's the thing that you can't do for them. I can't do it for them. I can encourage them, but and that's the thing that scappers them. So it's, I guess probably as the distance goes on, the percentage increases. Like, I don't even know. Like you can take, somebody had asked me at the training camp weekend, like, Ellie, what's the kind of lowest mileage or like lowest chance of success you've seen for the miler and someone get it done? And I was like, well, actually I've seen people that have only done a 50K ultra before going into it and had bugger all training behind them, and they got it done. And I would not have backed them, but they're obviously bloody stubborn and held together for that distance.
Boro, yeah.
So, like, I can't really put a percentage on it, because I think like you go for a shorter run and it might be a fast one or something like that, then there'll be, some like probably a smaller percentage, but still a benefit for having a more positive, stronger mindset. But then I think with the really long distances, man, I don't know. You go into probably like 200%. Like it's massive. Yeah. I don't know if I've properly answered that, but
no, it's a good thing to think about, though, right?
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting.
You're so right on that bell curve. We asked Sam Tanner at the Spectacle if you want to check out that live show. It was one of the best live panels we've ever done. Sam Tanner says, "I don't have time to think, man." It was like when it hurts, it's like it hurts all the time. Every step hurts, but I don't have time to think. But you're right. It's that if you've got, when you start getting those signs from your body and those old dark thoughts start creeping in the longer run. I mean, segueing on and speaking of dark thoughts, if I said to you, Ali Pottinger, Burrito League, what would you think? What would you say?
I have no idea about this, Matt. No idea.
I kind of wish Andrew was here for this, because he was all about this. Do you know Jamil Khoury?
Yeah, I met him in 2016. Yeah.
So he was the first person I ever put on the cover of Kiwi Trail Runner magazine.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I had the headline, The New Noise, which was a refused lyric, which I was pretty stoked about.
Mm.
Yeah, he was looking awesome. So it started in Tempe, Arizona, and it was this thing that it was a 354-meter segment outside. I think it was outside of Chipotle, and
Oh,
Strava and
yes.
Chipotle teamed up and said, as many times as you can run this segment in a month, we'll give you a free burritos for a year, right? And it ended up a couple of ultra runners got their hands on it, Jamil Curry and a guy by the name of Kevin Russ, and they became locked in a absolute death march. And Curry ran 700 miles in January 2025 on a 354 meter odd segment, and he I guess he won free burritos for a year, which is like, it works out to like you get a burrito a week for a year, which to my mind,
It's minor.
free burritos is for a year is free burritos for a year. That's as
Yeah,
much
yeah,
that's as much
yeah.
burritos as you. I'd be testing that. I'd be pushing that envelope. And so that was the thing, and it was great, and it was like, what are they doing? And he was just running up and down the pavement for ages in January. And this year, everyone was like, right, it's January, let's go, let's send it again. And Strava and Chipotle have gone a little bit silent. So a little bit of radio silence there. And as of January 2026, Chipotle has not announced whether it's running the Strava burrito segment again this year. There's been no communication from the company about returning to the campaign that energized so many runners in prior years. And I think that this might have something to do with the fact that they have civil litigation in the States. And while you've got, Jamil Curry and maybe Jim Wormsley running up and down, I'm sure Hoka would get behind that event, running up and down outside the street, you'd also probably have someone like, I don't know, a regular human being thinking, I really like burritos, I'm going to do this, and then dropping dead outside a Chipotle. It's I don't know, it's not the best press, is it? So, but can't keep a good... We do like pointless things. So Jamil Curry has set up the DIY Burrito League.
What?
Yeah. So he's launched his own running competition called the Burrito League on Strava, and it's a grassroots version of the Burrito Segment Challenge. And that format mirrors the Old Chipotle Challenge. It's you pick a short Strava segment, run it as many times as possible before January 31st, and top leaderboard athletes win prizes, not just burritos. And it started in Tempe, Arizona, has quickly expanded to other North American cities, and there's spots in Toronto, Calgary, and Ballymore, Alberta. But yeah, it's all going to be public, because what was happening is people were saving the runs and then dumping the segments. So there was a bit of gamesmanship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you'd run it 400 times and then,
I see.
old mate would run it 200 times, then you jam it out. But what you have to do is you've got to publicly upload it as much as it's, in real time. And I have to say, God defend New Zealand, because there we are one of the few places outside of North America with a burrito league. We have yep, there is a burrito league in West Auckland on Lincoln Road in Henderson.
Really?
And yep, absolutely. And it's the most segments from January the 11th to the 31st. And I spent a lot of time on Lincoln Road. I work at the other end of Lincoln Road. I work at Waitakere Hospital. And I tell you what, when I saw this, I did just kind of die inside a little bit, because the Strava segment starts outside the Mexicali Fresh on Lincoln Road, out to the corner of Paramount Drive, which I also used to work on Paramount Drive, because that's where the community mental health building is, and back. And that is that's the segment. And I've run it a bunch of times, not just that segment. I've run, all around that area a bunch of times. And yeah, it would get boring pretty quickly. It says careful cars coming in and out of gas station driveways. And let me tell you, friends, that's not your only worry running up and down Lincoln Road at all hours of the night. So Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. If I saw someone running on Lincoln Road, and clearly I knew that they were doing the burrito thing, I would heckle them probably, but it would be in good fun. So yeah, that's 2026. We're running for burritos now.
I feel like you need to give it a crack, Matt. The stars are aligning.
This is the stars are aligning. It's about 2K in a straight line from my work. I guess I could go run in my lunch hour, but there's going to be someone, the weekends are going to, unless you've got someone who's just like, otherwise, I don't know, independently wealthy or a contract worker, they're going to be out there smashing it all day. I can imagine that segment on Saturdays and Sundays getting pretty busy with people just running up and down.
Everyone's wired differently. To me, I'll be like, I'd way rather be out on the trails than doing that, but that's just me.
I quite like a hapless cause. I like that sort of. I like that, and again, thinking about people, all those people, I think about Sean Collins, I think about Andrew McDowell. They ran around their house in lockdown. Rebecca and I did like a 1K loop of our block, 40 times, and it nearly died of boredom. But yeah, it's an interesting. 2026 is off to a really interesting start.
It sure is.
So next week on Dirt Church Radio, we have the 2026 Tarawera Ultra Trail preview with myself, Ali, and Kerry Suter, and that's going to be super fun. Anything before we go, Ali? Any final thoughts? Any lessons learned? Anything you want to?
Learned? Not really. I just want to I hope that everybody's New Year's off to a good start, and thanks for tuning in yet again. Bring on another great year of 2026 chats, and if there's anybody you'd like to get on, then let us know as well, because we've got to slide into some people's DMs over the coming weeks and see who we can line up. There's a few that had said yes last year that need to follow up with. So maybe that's something that you can help out with, team.
Yeah, this year my goal is to be sort of the reverse Captain Ahab and land. Captain Ahab, Moby Dick, the great white whale. Right?
Oh, okay, now I do. Yeah,
Captain Ahab, he's chasing the great white whale all through the book. Spoiler alert, doesn't end well for him. Trying to get it onto the boat. The whale's a lot bigger, and Ahab goes to the bottom. My goal is to land the Dirt Church Radio great white whale, that which has been sighted off the bow several times and has spouted a little musical spray, but has never committed to being on the podcast. You know who you are, and we will hunt you down and force you to have a conversation with us. But until then, we look forward to being. What I'm most looking forward to is getting out amongst it this year. I'm really excited about the Kia series. I've half a mind to head down to Mount Maunganui in April to have a look at that. And that's going to be the GOAT, isn't it? So
yeah, the GOAT. Yeah, that's on this weekend. And it's such a cool event. Have you ever gone, Matt? You should come.
No,
you should come to a GOAT one year.
I would love to do that. And when I was really into it, it was always selling out. We had young kids. It was always selling out. Something that we both really wanted to do. So yeah, I'd be super keen to do that. Good mate Inia Raumati's doing it. So
he always dresses up in a goat suit.
He's bought the goat suit. He bought a new goat because I think the other one dissolved. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing time. So look, that's it from us, the Dirt Church Radio AidStation. I'm Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
And we will look forward to seeing you next week with our first full episode of the year. But until then, take care. May the trails be warm and your ankles muddy.